Hello, and thanks for joining us from our studios in Tel Aviv. Coming up in today's newscast, a former Nazi is set to go on trial for war crimes. The Israeli Prime Minister shoots down a two-state solution, and UNESCO recognizes a world treasure in the Holy Land. I'm Natasha Kirchuk here with the latest news in Israel. A 94-year-old former Nazi guard is going on trial this week in Germany for the murder of at least 170,000 people. This is the first of 4 cases that will be brought to German courts this year in a last-minute attempt to punish Nazi war crimes. Prosecutors say Reinhold Henning was an SS guard at the Auschwitz concentration camp in Poland and was responsible for leading Jewish prisoners to the gas chambers. Henning has admitted to having served as a guard, but he denies he was involved in mass murder. His trial will take place in the city of Detmold, and several survivors will be among the witnesses.
Als ich mich von meiner Mutter in Auschwitz trennen musste, ich kam nach Ravensbrück und sie blieb in Auschwitz zurück. Da sagte sie mir als letztes, du wirst überleben. Das konnte sie natürlich nicht wissen. Du wirst überleben, wirst erzählen, was man mit uns gemacht hat. Das konnte sie nicht wissen, aber es war ihr einziger großer Wunsch, ihr sehnlichster Wunsch in Auschwitz, dass ihr einziges Kind überleben sollte.
Dass es für mich nur um die Gerechtigkeit geht. Ich möchte, dass die Herren, die hier vor Gericht stehen werden, also der Herr, der vor Gericht stehen wird, Herr Henning, die Wahrheit erzählt. Ich gehe in die Schulen und erzähle die Wahrheit, was damals geschah. Er soll das auch erzählen.
Dass noch einmal dargestellt wird, was sich tatsächlich in dem größten Vernichtungslager in See gegeben hat, abgespielt hat. Und der Angeklagte war beteiligt. Es gab keine Ausreden. Der eine hat das gemacht. Die waren an allen Aktionen, die im Lager waren, beteiligt.
40 Auschwitz survivors have joined the trial as co-plaintiffs, although not everyone will testify. Henning is one of 4 elderly Nazi guards who are set to go on trial in Germany in the coming months. There are 30 other cases involving Auschwitz guards that are currently being investigated by Germany's Special Nazi War Crimes Office. The Israeli Prime Minister claims Israel can't afford to agree to a two-state solution, given the current state of the Middle East. Netanyahu says the Israelis won't make any deal until the Palestinians agree to recognize a Jewish state and demilitarize their own.
5 השנים האחרונות הוכיחו מי צדק ומי טעה. האסלאם הקיצוני כובש כל שטח אפשרי. הוא טובח מאות אלפים, הוא הופך מיליונים לפליטים, הוא מפרק מדינות, הוא מאיים על הסדר העולמי, בכל העולם. בנסיבות הללו חובתי כראש ממשלה היא לא לטמון את הראש בחול. חובתי היא להסתכל על המציאות בעיניים.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has held fast his demands for both state recognition and Palestinian demilitarization. But opposition leader Isaac Herzog has continued to fight for a two-state solution. It looks like Herzog has had a change of heart, though. Last week, he also declared that 2 states are currently unfeasible. The Labour Party finally decided to unanimously back him up this week, and Netanyahu can't help but call them out for taking so long to catch up.
והנה בתחילת השבוע, ביום ראשון, נפל דבר. חברי תנועת מפלגת העבודה קבעו שלא ניתן לממש את הסדר שתי המדינות לשני העמים במצב הנוכחי. זה נשמע לכם מוכר? בוקר טוב בוז'י, אני שמח שהתעוררת. בוקר טוב מפלגת העבודה, ברוכים הבאים למזרח התיכון. השעון המעורר צלצל, ואולי סוף סוף אתם מתחילים להבין איפה אנחנו חיים. ראיית העולם שלי עקבית. אינני מעוניין במדינה דו-לאומית. אני לא רוצה להפוך למעלה מ1.5 מיליון פלסטינים לאזרחי ישראל. באותה מידה אני יודע שבמצב הנוכחי שטחי יהודה ושומרון יהפכו פשוט לפי כל תוכנית של התפנות, יהפכו לעוד בסיס של הטרור הפלסטיני והאסלאמי ששואף להשמיד את מדינת ישראל.
Netanyahu claims that peace is impossible unless education in the Palestinian territories begins to change. He says Palestinian leaders must stop encouraging Palestinian children to fight for one Palestinian state, and says that recent terrorism is stemming from a culture of death propagated by Palestinian leadership.
אני צריך להביא לכם, הבאתי את זה ב-60 שניות, אבל אני יכול להביא לכם 60 שעות, לשמוע יום-יום מה שהם לומדים שם, ילדים קטנים. אני לא מדבר בעזה, אני מדבר ברשות הפלסטינית. לשחרר את השטח הכבוש, חיפה, עכו, יפו, לא 67, אף אחד לא מדבר על 67, מדברים על 48. הטרור היה כאן לפני שקמה המדינה ואחרי שהיא קמה, לפני 67 ואחרי 67, לפני שיצאנו מעזה ואחרי שיצאנו ממנה, לפני שיצאנו מלבנון ואחרי שיצאנו מלבנון.
As you probably know, Israel doesn't have many allies in the Middle East, and the country is always looking to improve regional relations. This week, Israel is holding talks with Turkey in hopes of renewing their friendship, but the two countries still have a lot of issues to work through. Israeli and Turkish officials are meeting this week in Switzerland in hopes of reaching a reconciliation agreement. There are a number of issues the two sides have to work through, and Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon is now saying that any agreement with Turkey should include a return of the bodies held by Hamas. Ya'alon says Turkey should use its influence with Hamas to pressure the group into returning the bodies of Israeli soldiers Aron Shaul and Hadar Goldin, who were captured during Operation Protective Edge. The bodies of Israeli soldiers, dead or alive, have been used by terror groups like Hamas and Hezbollah in the past to bargain with the Jewish state. Turkey and Israel used to be close allies, and both countries hope to normalize relations through the talks. Most of us know what it's like to have an overbearing Jewish mom. But what if there was a healthy way to help her let off some of that steam? An Israeli sports initiative has created the largest social sports project for moms in the world by bringing together mothers from all over Israel to compete in catchball. Now they're even looking to expand in Europe. Ofra Abramovich is the founder and CEO of Mom Annette, and she has a scoop. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
So what is Mom Annette and what is catchball?
Mom Annette is a mother and catchball mother league. It's a league for mothers. This is the basic. The catchball itself it's a game. It's like volleyball, but instead of hitting the ball, you catch the ball. That makes every mother can play, and this is the best idea.
So it must be an incredible workout. How many women are in your league?
The league is now almost 10,000 mothers playing all around Israel in almost 90 municipalities. And the point is that each of the municipality has its own league. And this what makes the league very unique, unlike other leagues that exist.
So how did you guys come up with this idea?
10 years ago, I just went to a course of the catchball. By the way, the catchball is being played for hundreds of years. Something that is unique is the mother has the league and they play the catchball. The point that mothers can do league and bring it to the like NBA level in terms of referees and the T-shirts and tables and all this stuff, this is what makes the Mothers League very unique. And when I went to this course and I felt for me how I was so excited, and I came home and I said to my husband, listen, this is what I wanted to do after the circle of life of working and raising children and go to work and do the home stuff that you need to do. It was a relief for me for 2 hours going for training and just to be with myself. And the best part of this was that I was a role model for my children just to do sport, live a wellness life, become aware of what I'm eating, how do I eat, and because of this, all the family start to be very sportive and very aware in health and wellness. And then I decided that if I enjoy very much, all mothers should enjoy very much. So I went to the mayor of the city, of my city, Kfar Saba, and I asked the mayor, and he stared at me like I'm crazy because putting together the words league and mother 10 years ago was not very, it's not natural. And I convinced him. After a while, it wasn't easy, but at the end he agreed to take the chance. And he didn't regret it up to now, because now we are the biggest women league in Israel. And we are the third branch after soccer and basketball. This is Mom Annette in Israel. And it's very impressive because it's not only a branch that is not recognized, but it's women branch. And this is very important. And what we are very proud now is that other countries in the world want to implement this model of Mom Annette in their countries. So
that's what I actually want to ask you about. I understand that next week you're actually going to Italy and you're trying to expand this movement. Can you tell me about that? How have you gotten all this international exposure?
We have a mutual strategic with Hapoel in Israel. And we are going to the Sportiada in Eilat, which is every year you have a Sportiada, a competition of the workplace. And we came as Mom Annette. And the president of the biggest Sport for All organization, it's called CSIT, C-S-I-T, saw us. He saw the energy of the mothers. He saw how different mothers are in court and outside of the court. It's different. It's not a professional competition. It's something that I just want to say that Mom Annette make a big change in the way of life of women in Israel. First of all, we changed the hegemony in sport in Israel because it was dominant by men. And we changed it because a lot of women start to do sport, talk sport, and they understand sport. So this is a big difference. And besides this, it's the first time that women start to put their priority different. Whereas long time ago, it was first work and then family. Now it's the sport of her and then other things. And this changed their life. And many women come to me and say to me, this is a big, big change. So it's called social movement because those mothers that are playing, they way of life and awareness is different. And this model, it's very attractive because you know from yourself that mothers are the decision makers in their at home, you know, for cellular, for TV, for whatever. This is the mother, and when she's happy and when she's making
everybody is happy.
Everybody is happy, so they are so appreciated, and you can see them. They coming every time for tournament and this is a big, big issue. What is more important is that the league that we have is according to the school of the children that are attending. So teams, we built a team, a league in any municipality. So besides being a league, you also create a community. And this word is very rarely used now because everybody today has its own cellular, has its own, you know, you go outside to work at 6 o'clock and you come back to home and you're very busy with what you are doing and you don't see either way, you know. And the Mom Annette, as I call it, is a non-virtual Facebook.
It's a way to get out.
To get out, to see people, to meet them, to talk to them. And this, I think that this is something that many people nowadays miss the community part. And what Mom Annette is doing is bring all of them together. So it's not only the way inside the court, but the way to the court is very important.
Absolutely.
And you create a very social life because of it. So,
well, thank you so much for coming in, and you know, this is amazing to hear about. It's so great that you've created this outlet for women to go and play sports and lead healthy lifestyles and meet new friends. And we're excited to see how you guys expand internationally.
Yeah, I'm sure we are on our way to this. Also, the Ministry of External Affairs found us as a social movement and he made a clip about Israel, about Mom Annette, which exposed to
Well, there you go.
yeah.
Well, thanks so much again.
Thank you, thank you.
An Israeli company has developed a groundbreaking device that will allow the IDF to prevent terror attacks that take place early in the morning. The new mechanism allows drones to identify objects moving through morning fog, making it easier for the army to catch attackers. The IDF has almost always had to reinforce its positions along dangerous borders in the early morning hours, for fear that terrorists would take advantage of the fog to attack Israel. Many attacks have been carried out against Israel on the borders of Gaza and Lebanon with the help of the thick haze. But now the IDF will be able to combat the threat much more efficiently. The new device made by the Israeli company Contrap can identify silhouettes or moving objects in fog from up to 12.5 miles. The 143-pound mechanism is installed on drones, and it can take high-quality pictures through the haze. Plus, it can even identify suspicious targets through distortion vapors that the ground creates on hot days. Until now, the army has had to use radars to detect movements through fog, which are easily triggered by almost any motion and lead to false alarms. Contrap plans to deliver its first devices to the army in about a month. It looks like Israel has another special historical honor to add to the books. The Holy Land is known for its wealth of historical artifacts, and it's just received a major honor from the UN for one especially unique treasure. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization has awarded Israel with a special historic honor. UNESCO has officially recognized Israel's Aleppo Codex as a world treasure. For those of you who don't know, the Aleppo Codex is believed to be the world's oldest copy of the Hebrew Bible. The ancient manuscript was written in the Israeli city of Tiberias around the year 930 AD, making it over 1,000 years old. The Aleppo Codex is one of the only 300 items that UNESCO has included on its list of unique world treasures. If you're wondering why the Israeli treasure is called the Aleppo Codex, the treasure's special name gives some insight into its history. The codex was smuggled out of Aleppo, Syria in the 1950s, when it made its way to Israel. And for those of you who love history and want to see the codex for yourself, it's on display at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem, where it can be viewed by the public. And now for our Hebrew word of the day. Modern Israel might only be 67 years old, but our tiny little country is full of ancient artifacts from its long history. So today's word is otzar, which means treasure in Hebrew. Otzar is found all the time in Israel. Just remember our story about the random hiker who found an ancient Egyptian seal during his walk. So you can only imagine how much archaeologists love to dig in the Holy Land. Otzar is also used in Hebrew phrases like otzar milim. The phrase literally translates to treasure words, but it actually means vocabulary. The idea of treasure words shows just how much Israelis value their language, culture, and history. It might be surprising, but modern Hebrew is a pretty new language, and Israel's founders worked really hard to make sure Israelis would learn it. The fact that they succeeded was basically a miracle, so in a way, the Hebrew language really is a treasure. On that note, let's go ahead and take a look at the weather forecast. The weekend is finally here, and the weather is supposed to be super pleasant. Friday should be sunny with a high of 68 degrees. The sun is expected to stay out all the way through Sunday, and the temperature will go up to 70. All right, everybody, that's it for today's news. Today's exchange rate is 3.88 shekels to the American dollar. Remember to sign up for our daily newsletter at ILTV.tv, and don't forget to check out our evening update every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tonight.